Hey, welcome back to the shop. Joey here with Turtle Labs. We are here today to discuss the Rochobby Atlas 1/10 scale off-road truck. And at a $250 price point, it's very compelling. But is it worth it? What is this truck best suited for? And would I recommend this truck to a new or experienced RC enthusiast? Stay tuned and I'll answer those questions and more. Right away, you can see one of my favorite parts about this truck, the shipping box. It works great to store and transport the truck from the house to the trail. I mean, it's really nice. Right out of the box, the first thing I noticed was how bouncy the shocks are on this thing. This is going to lead to unstable and unpredictable handling on the trail. It would definitely benefit from some aftermarket shocks. Upon opening the differential, transmission, and transfer case, it's very nice to see some metal gears inside with a plastic spur gear in the transmission. They were, however, a little dry, so I applied some of my favorite grease, Lucas Red Tacky. In order to swap a motor, the entire transmission must be disassembled in order to swap one, and to get to the motor I had to remove the bed of the truck in order to access the bolts that hold the transmission together. It was very frustrating, and I would not be excited to repeat the process again. After reinstalling the powertrain, a little dab of thread locker on the drive shaft set screw will keep everything in place during your drive. Okay, so for steering, out of the box, this thing can barely even steer at all. Even on a slick concrete floor, the wheels do not seem very motivated to turn, and the tires don't travel very far lock to lock. The tires look to be like a Proline Hyrax replica, and they seem to perform pretty well. Also keep in mind my personal rock course is very dusty, so it's not the highest with traction. As previously noted, the servo is extremely underpowered, and the wheels do not turn far lock to lock, and I really notice it holding me up as far as maneuverability. The stock drivetrain, even on 3S, is a bit noisy, and the torque leaves a little bit to be desired. If you've had any experience with a nice brush system like a Hobbywing 1080 and a Holmes Hobby motor, this will be a little upsetting, but still, this thing is only 250 bucks. Just keep in mind, in stock form, you may need to bump over obstacles rather than slowly crawl over them. Once you get this thing out on the rocks, it's very easy to notice just how cool this thing really looks in motion. The warm hue of the headlights really adds some scale to this rig. To remedy the servo issue, which doesn't even have any branding at all, mind you, I purchased a Power HD 25 kilogram servo. I've had really good luck with this brand of components in crawlers, drifters, and other RC cars, so it was a pretty easy decision to make. If there's one thing that bugs me about this truck, it's the servo mounting system. The stock servo kind of slides into the frame rail on the passenger side, and then pops down and two screws hold it in on the left. In order to squeeze my Power HD servo in, I had a clearance to open it with a file and do some Dremel grinding in the frame rail to get it to fit.
Okay, at least it goes when I tell it to go. It's just not as far as I want it to go.
Upon gazing through the manual on page 9 under stick calibration, it appears you can recalibrate your endpoints. Now, the manual says it's calibrated from the factory, and I didn't reinstall the original servo to see if it made any difference because it needs to be swapped out anyway, but this little calibration completely woke up the steering and the truck is much more enjoyable to drive. Overall, I think this is a great truck for 250 bucks, but I'm not really a fan of the way the motor mounts, having to tear down the entire transmission to get to it. Also, the servo mount is a little odd, and I don't really like it at all. If you swap a servo, you can get it to fit, but down the road you might change to a different one and it might not fit because of the way it works, and you might have to shim it in order to make it work. And I don't like that at all. On the other hand, this thing really does look good. It's a little too flashy in some ways to me, but that's just my opinion. I don't really like the chrome diamond plate, and I didn't like the exhaust stack, so I took those off right away. Now, who is this truck designed for? A beginner? Yeah, I'd say it's a good truck for a beginner. But with that said, I would have to mention the odd servo mounting and the difficulty for swapping out a motor. If you've been crawling for a while and have one or more built rigs, I would say this is not for you. I would just move on. But if you're looking for a rig for a friend to use and as a loaner, I would say this is a good rig. Just like any vehicle, you could upgrade this rig and make it better, but at the end of the day, it would probably be better to just spend the money elsewhere on a truck that's got more aftermarket support and just a little more easy to work with. And really, this could be turned into a really good trail truck with some modifications, and it could turn into a good crawler too. I mean, there's a lot of good wheel clearance, and it's a pretty good configuration if you want to give it a little time and effort. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on this truck, and I hope it helps you out with your decision in purchasing this or moving on. If you'd like to see me make some changes on this and swap out some parts, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do it. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.